because it's Lego Batman time. Hi everybody, I'm Owen and these are my Lego shelves. I've been building Batmobiles. I was rewatching the Christopher Nolan trilogy, the Batman Begins, Dark Knight Rises, which I love, particularly the middle one is just absolutely fantastic. But as I was watching those, I was building some Batmobiles. Now, this has been a bit of an omission from my channel, but I'm a huge Batman fan and consequently Batman Lego as well. Obviously, I've got my IKEA hack, which you can't quite see up the top with the little Batman climbing up the wall with Robin. I have got a huge box of minifigs, which is kind of suggestive of just how many Batman sets that I've had over the years. But I was looking specifically at Batmobiles because this year we've got 3 new Batmobiles coming out. And I was looking at them and thinking, meh, a little bit kind of underwhelmed by the look of them. So the 3 things that we've got this year is Batman and Robin Batmobile, which as a film, let alone as a Batmobile, it's quite a cute set. It's only like 200 and a bit pieces. Actually, all of them are in the kind of 200, 300 range of pieces, and all of them priced at 25 quid, which feels, I don't know, it feels quite a lot. And so I was thinking whether or not I'd bother with them. So the 3 are the Batmobile from Batman and Robin, the Batman Batmobile, which is pretty cool, but obviously they've already done that, and the Batman versus Superman Batmobile, which again, as films go, which is a shame because I thought that there was potential. You know, I know that people had a lot of beef with Ben Affleck being Batman, but I actually thought he had some moments in the films that he's done where I thought actually he can do this, but he wasn't given anything good to work with, and hence it was a bit of a letdown, including the Justice League films and all those ones as well. Anyway, not a film review, Batmobile review. So that's the kind of most interesting one, I guess, the Batman versus Superman one, because it's a bit different. The Batman and Robin one, maybe. It's got those weird big fins at the back. And of course, we had the Batman Forever Batmobile, which is a bigger set, £90 set. That was 900 pieces released last year. The other one that was released last year that I wanted to have a look at, because I actually picked it up quite cheaply, was the Tumbler, because so that was where I started. I started with the Tumbler because they've kind of already released that. I know Lego do this quite regularly, and it's kind of their business model these days that we want new sets, new sets, new sets. I'm wondering whether it's reached a little bit of a peak of repeating the same stuff. So I thought I'd have a look at the Batmobiles, I'd build them up, and gotta say, the Tumbler is not, no, I was going to say not good, but that's not true. It's not worth it compared to the last one. So let's start with the Tumbler. So this is the previous Batman Begins Tumbler. It's a chunky beast. I remember seeing this Batmobile first time in the films and just thinking, sorry, when I saw the trailers for the Batmobile and thinking like, I don't know, does it feel like a Batmobile or does it feel like a tank? But in the film, I think that they lean into that really hard and it actually works really nicely, and you end up with this kind of really beefy, kind of ridiculous, literally tank, right? And the Lego pulls that off. There's loads of angles in here. You know, in the original thing, it's all kind of weird shapes building up this tank. And the Lego works for that, which is quite impressive because you've got, you know, little things like the flaps that lean in at 2 different angles. You've got lots of different shapes at the front. Got these lovely beefy wheels at the front, but then they are dwarfed by these even beefier wheels at the back. So this one was the one from a little while back. I can't remember how many years now, but great fun, great build, neat little build, and sort of in the 35 quid region. Now I know I can't directly compare a few years ago Lego prices with today's Lego prices, sadly, but very nice. And I saw the new one, which is from the beginning of 2025, and I thought, I like Batmobiles. I'll have a new one. So I treated myself. Like I said, I found it fairly cheap. I was aware that it wasn't going to be a massively different build. I was aware that it was not going to be a massively different look at the end of it, because they've got the same source material. That's not surprising. But when I was finished, I was kind of like a bit underwhelmed. The main thing that underwhelmed me were the poxy little wheels at the front. So in theory, these are definitely similar scale in terms of number of pieces. If you were to try and price them up, it's you'd think this was the more expensive, right? Because it's chunkier, it's beefier, it's got more pieces, it's got those thick wheels at the front which look amazing. It's got the double wheels at the back, which this one still has the double wheels at the back, but they're double little wheels. So it just feels scaled down massively. Now this one, if you want to buy it today, unfortunately, because it's a retired set, it's in the region of 70 quid. But I'm sure I got it in the region of 35, 40 quid. This one, if you want to buy it new now, is £55. And it doesn't really live up to that, I don't think. You know, in terms of number of pieces, it's 400 and a bit. You know, so it's well over that 10 pence per piece level, and it's good. It's definitely not better than that other one. That other one's definitely the superior model. It's got some nice touches, don't get me wrong. It's still got all those lovely angles, but it seems like a real miss to be charging as much as they are charging. And like I said, if I hadn't found it super cheap, I wouldn't have bought it. So I do love this little extra bit that we get with it, which is super cool. I do love that, but that's it. You know, I think for me, maybe with, you know, how many minifigs I do have for Lego Batman, maybe I was drawn in by the fact that you've got the Joker, the Heath Ledger Joker, and the Two-Face from that movie. I've forgotten the chap's name, never mind. And the Two-Face one comes with coin, the little coin that he's got with the scratched out face, which is pretty cool. In fact, you get two, you get a spare as well. And the minifigs are quite cool, obviously. For me, I quite like, I'm sort of building up a collection of all the Batmans and all the Jokers. I don't know why, just because it entertains me. So yeah, a little bit disappointed with that. And I'm worried that that's kind of where we're going to see these new ones this year. I kind of think at least they're a slightly smaller set for once. You know, I do think that we've lost that a little bit in Lego, those smaller sets that are just nice little ones. But yeah, then speaking of often rehashed ones, the longer kind of classic Batmobile shape. This one is the, I'm going to get this wrong now. Is it the Joker Pursuit or is it the other one? This one is the Pursuit of the Joker. So subtle difference there. I think that the other one, looking at it, I think it looks kind of nicer because it's got a much smoother bit here. That's just my preference, and doesn't have quite such ridiculous wings at the back. Though these were very pleasing in terms of how they can angle and how they can spread out and things like that. We've also got the lovely wheels turn, flames turn on this, which I do like. So this is in terms of a kind of a classic Batmobile. I really enjoyed this. It also comes with quite a few extra bat symbols, which is cool. So this is the Batman Joker chase, which has was basically the 1989 Batmobile in terms of a look. It's got lovely vents at the front for an inlet intake, and at the side with a clever use of sort of, I don't know whether you can see it on all the black, but the medieval style windows there. So that one very similar to the Batmobile Batman Pursuit. but this one is kind of more comic book. This one is more film look. It also has a nice little mechanism where the Lego actually pops out to reveal the guns here. There's a little turn on this side, so if I can do that, they just pop out and those two bits fly off and disappear into my room somewhere. So that's a very cool little extra bit with the guns popping out, and then I'll have to find those pieces and replace them. Really nice Batmobile, that one. I think that's my favourite of the more classic Batmobile shapes. The movie one rather than the comic book one, though this is very cool. The build, unsurprisingly, between those two, because they're very similar looks, very similar again. Again, we do have the twisty because it's one of the fun ones. And then finally, I have the Batmobile from the TV series, which is awesome. It's a very different look from all the others, which is wonderful. Again, when I think about the upscaled ones, I couldn't decide whether I thought that the bigger one of these was actually any better. You know, they're both modelling the same thing, and this one does an amazing job, I think. We've got little devices for firing off flares and things at the back as well, which I'm just trying to move. An opening closing boot there with a grappling hook inside. And obviously came with the minifigs that you'd expect, who are now currently climbing the shelves. Really nice. I think it's nice because it's so different, and it's got these lovely red bits which make it pop. You know, in terms of display, I'm going to think quite hard about how to display these Batmobiles, because they get lost on the shelves, because you only see either just like the nose or the side, which loses a lot of it, right? Loses a lot of the joy. So I don't know whether perhaps they could go on a wall or something, but that would take a lot more effort. So that one's a real fave. That's the kind of Batman I grew up with, I guess. So yeah, lovely colours. These are also very nicely angled. I'm not sure it shows up on camera. There we go, shows up a little bit. And they're on just little hinges so that they can move a little bit, but are sort of supposed to be sort of a little slight angle, which is kind of cool. For that one, I do have one more Batmobile, but I lent it to my nephew. Hi, Josh. But it's the one from the recent Batman Lego movie. So it's obviously quite a different kind of look to it. It's got that sort of somewhere between a monster truck and a dragster kind of look to it. It's quite a fun one because you can change where the wheel positions are to either be like that fast car look or kind of raised. So it's got these big chunky kind of almost like a monster truck kind of look to it. But yeah, I haven't rebuilt that because I don't have it here at the minute. So yeah, sometimes my Lego is a little bit like a library because I store it so nicely. So anyway, then I've got the Batman animated series one, which is a lovely model. It's a great build as well. We've got lovely little vents at the front. I would say with this one, I got it as a gift, so I'm super happy with it. I would say that it's quite an expensive model for what it is, but it does do a very good job of that sleekness that this Batmobile had in the animated series. And yeah, again, back wheels spin makes the flame spin, which is, it's a nice touch. It does amuse me. Some really nice angled pieces here, which are on just hinged bits, so you can you can see if I put it flat like that, and then they fold in to just give that slight angle, which is a really nice part of the build. The guns also come off, which I think is really good because I don't think that they aid the shape very much. Oh dear, I've just pulled some of the other bits off as well. Hang on 2 seconds. Lego. There we go. So I do think that it's nicer without the guns. It looks really cool. And as I say, super sleek, just like in the animated series. And then the last one that I've built is the Batman, Robert Battenbat's Batmobile. which is this kind of bruiser, this muscle car. And I think that really comes across nicely in the Lego. I've also got, I haven't got them in at the minute, but they have got firing guns, which is a really lovely build for that. And the button for firing them is on the top. So when you put the ammo in, these two little plates here sort of pop up, and then you can, not fully, and then you just push them down to fire, which is really cool. Obviously incredibly dangerous. But Batman's allowed guns on cars, right? Because he's got one rule, but not with cars. So it's fine. I really like that build as well. That doesn't spin because this is a serious car, not a light-hearted car. So the serious ones don't do the thing where this turns at the back. So the Tumblers don't do that, and this one doesn't do that. So yeah, in terms of Batmobiles, I think you've got to choose the film that you love, which is hard, which is why I have so many. So I think I've chosen all of the films that I love, which is most of the Batman films. I think if you're going to get the Tumbler and you can find a way to get hold of that old one, it's worth it. Thinking about the bigger vehicles, I've never kind of fancied the big Tumbler because I felt like this one did such a good job of it. And looking at the difference between this and the big one, it really only ended up kind of being scale. I'm also slightly intimidated by that quantity of black that is in that. I have got the 1989 Tim Burton Beast, the big one. It is huge, so I'm going to find some time to build that at some point, making no promises that it'll be soon. But that's a lovely build. But again, as soon as you take it apart, it is that kind of like, oh, I've got a huge box full of black pieces, and you have to kind of piece your way through it. But I do like that Batmobile, and hence that Lego set. Don't know what I'm going to do about those small sets, whether I like them enough. I suppose they're small enough money that they're just a nice little treat. So maybe, but I certainly don't think that the Batman one measures up to this. So that feels fairly pointless. I didn't like Batman versus Superman very much, so maybe not that car, which again, I'm not particularly big fan of that Batmobile. But it does look like an interesting Lego set at least. Whereas the Batman and Robin one, I'm not sure it looks that interesting as a Lego set. So, quandary there, because I do love me a bit of Batman. So yeah, until I see you again, keep on Batmaning.